I'm joined in the studio today by activist Savima Albana and activist Ilira Trapani. Welcome to Inside Albania. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for the invitation.
It's a pleasure. Now, I want to discuss a few issues today. There are many, many things that we can talk about today, so let's see where the conversation goes. But the reason why I wanted to invite you both was I saw a statistic recently published by Instat that Albania's fertility rate, the birth rate, is one of the lowest in Europe. So this was data from 2021, and it shows that the fertility rate in Albania is, so the number of children from each woman is 1.21. And that's fallen from 1.32 the year before. Now, actually, the replacement rate is 2.1, so that for the population to remain at the same level. So this is significantly lower than it should be. And it's concerning as well that this is one of the lowest figures in Europe. But I don't think it's a very simple matter. And I'm wondering what you think might be behind it. Is it Albanian women are having less children? If so, why? Or is this something to do with immigration? They're having children in other countries. Ilira, I'll start with you.
I think it's a combination of factors. One is absolutely the economical factor. We've been asking for years and years now for more support for the family and the children. We do not have it yet. So the families have zero support. The economical situation is not good since many years. So they have to decide either, either the mothers to go to work and sustain the family, or stay home and raise children and have children. So I think the most important factor is economical. Of course, the other factor is immigration, which relates to the fact that there is a very big number of Albanians leaving the country, and the age is unfortunately now the age of young professionals, which is also the age that they should create a family and have children. So I think it's happening also abroad, the birth of Albanian children. On the other side is also a social factor. The social factor is that the age of marriage is increased bit by bit every year. So we cannot compare maybe with the ages of before, because now it's a different situation. And on the other hand, it's more and more difficult to raise children in a country where there is no hope that institutions work, that there is security for the children, that there is good education, that there is a future for the children. So I think this stops the young couples, not only the mothers, but young couples, to have more and more children. So they think very well before having a child. Can they support it economically? Can they do it themselves without the support of the institutions? And that, as I said, is not there, unfortunately. And on the other hand, is this child going to have a future? And I think this is not an Albanian phenomenon. It's happening everywhere, as we see. Like, the world is aging at a very fast pace. But Albania, as you know, Albania and Kosovo are the youngest countries in Europe still. So I think we should really work hard investing to keep this kind of trend, because it's important for the country, but not only for a country, also for the continent.
Of course. When you talk about support, economic support from institutions, from what I understand, you can send your child to Chadra when they are, I'm not sure how old they have to be to go in but this
I think it's 3 months, or even for 30 days. Yeah.
So you could have a child with 3 months, you can send them, and I think it's quite a low fee. And so there is support in terms of you can send them to childcare. But
it depends on the kind of support, because you have the institutions. The problem is that what kind of service they offer. So do they offer all the service that is necessary, all the security and the well-being of the children, or they're just a framework of support, but not with a high-level standard service that we all look for our children?
Here we can mention also, because not all families can send children, babies, in public kindergartens, you must fulfill some criteria, economic criteria.
Which criteria?
So you need to be poor, no house, something that you can't maintain your kid, and you can't afford the payment in a private kindergarten or school, for example. And this is really very difficult for many people because, as we know, before, let's say, also before 10 years, the poorest make more children.
Yes.
The richest people thinking about how many because of the standard of life. They want to fulfill all conditions of the child. The poorest know, but now have changed the mentality. All know and all see that how can raise their children and to have different lives from their parents, for example. So this is very, very important. And when Elvira mentioned social problems, is this and is the lack of social strategies towards poorest and medium families, because we are talking about poorest of poorest, but we never have talked about the middle class of Albania, which is not existent now, because
they've left.
This, not that left only, but is poorest.
Yes,
also this middle class, because there are many middle class people, families in Albania that are really poor. They can't afford expenses like public, private schools, courses for kids, because if you have a kid, you must think and you can put them in private courses like foreign languages, sports, artistic courses, etc., etc. This is very, very, very difficult for Albanians, and the lack of this makes people to think about their kids.
You mentioned the change in mentality as well as women having children. Older, I mean, my mum was 43 when she had me. That was quite rare 37 years ago. But I have friends here who are having children into their late 30s and early 40s, you know, and this is more normal now. And what about, I mean, do you think the attitude towards things like contraception has changed as well? It's easier for women to get it. It's less stigma, perhaps, for them to seek contraception?
I don't think there is stigma, but it's question of money and mentality as well, because many young people who have not high education or open mind towards this, they are afraid that they say, no, we must be married or we must be pregnant before 30 or till 35, etc., etc. Some very well-educated women who see to do their careers, they forget pregnancy or kids, and they said, first is career, first is this, and after I have time to do, because there are other possibilities, contraceptive or other way to be mother and to be pregnant. So, but this group, second group, is small compared with
Absolutely. With the ones that do not choose not to have children, but they are forced to due to the conditions. We were speaking a little bit before about what can the institutions do to support the family and this increase in population. One of the supports, for example, is in many countries of Europe. You support the family and the children by, for example, they have every month they have a small amount of money that they give for every child that you have. I don't remember. I think in Austria is
they've just introduced it in Kosovo as well.
Kosovo makes now pregnant 500 euro.
That's why, because first of all, you encourage parents to have children and to support them. It's not that they do it for the money, but you support them while raising children, and it's easier for them. And sometimes they don't have to do extra work or 2 different works and leave the children in the kindergarten and in the daily care because they need to work for 12 hours, but they can balance more their responsibilities between work and life. So this is very important, and policies like this are very important. On the other hand, we were speaking about public daycares and kindergartens. One of the problems that we try to address, especially in the work that we do with the local government and with the women counselors, is that we're trying to build or to build public kindergartens in different cities of Albania, because unfortunately they are not.
Yes.
So there are many cities in Albania, like even big cities, that do not have a public kindergarten.
Or if they do, they close at 12. I heard some of
Some they close at 12, some close at 3. So in some cases, what we've done with the women counselors is that we've tried to have an extra budget from the municipality to for the length of the day. So to pay a little bit more the teachers there and the
Have
facilities,
shifts like this.
have more shifts. So it's longer, and the mothers can, usually it's the mothers who take care, so they can work a little bit more. Or on the other hand, to build from the beginning, because there are areas where we do not have public kindergartens and daycares. So we are at the level where for the family, there's almost zero support. We have the bonus of the baby, but that's only one time.
Yeah, I was quite surprised to get that.
It might be increased, but the problem is that it's only once. And you know, and I know, and we know, how much in these years has increased, the cost has increased to raise a child.
Yes, huge. In the 6 years I've been here, the cost of everything has increased so much.
Especially in Albania, but also worldwide.
Yes.
So today, to raise a child costs much more. So the problem is that we either support the family, as I said, in one sense economically, in one other sense also supporting by policies that strengthen the family, that invest in the family, family values, and all these other things that are important. And also, on the other hand, investing in all these facilities that create practical facilities that create the security of the future of the children. Which are those areas? One is education, as we said. If you have a good educational system, and the other one is health. Because if you don't have a good health system, is one of the main issues that a country may have, but especially families with small children may have. So we've been protesting a lot also with SEVE about medicine that lacks, the hospitals that lack medicine for children that are vital.
Yes.
So you cannot live in a situation where your child is not treated with dignity and is not treated with priority. I always say that if we want a better society and a better country, the first thing that we should do is start investing in children and in families.